Okay, let's start our quiz. Which of the following statements is correct? Tags are more specific than IDs and classes. Multiple classes are more specific than IDs and tags. Classes are more specific than IDs and tags. And IDs are more specific than classes and tags. And this should be the right answer because the IDs are more specific than classes and tags. Yep, let's proceed. The following code attempts to style a paragraph using the style tag, but fails to do so. Why? Let's see, you must use either inline styles or the style tag, but not both. The color attribute must be changed to color-style. The contents of the style tag must be the CSS code, not HTML code. The P will not appear at all. And the style attribute of the P element can be removed because the style tag replaces it. And I think this should be the right answer. The content of the style tag must be CSS code only, not HTML code. Yep, it is correct. Let's proceed. What does the style HTML tag allow? It links external CSS files to the HTML document. It is the only way to apply styles inside an HTML file. It automatically adds common styles to your web page, and writing one or more CSS rules in CSS syntax inside an HTML. And I think this should be the right answer. Writing one or more CSS rules in CSS syntax inside an HTML file. Okay, yep, it is correct. Let's proceed. What will be the color of the links after applying the CSS below? Let's see. We have the body selector and the property color is set to green. Then we have the descendant selector, main content A, color blue, and then we have a selector or link selector, or tag selector, and then we set the color to red with this important flag. So this will be applied anyways because we have the important flag right here. So it should be red. Yep, let's proceed. What is the most specific selector in the code below? And let's see, we have tag selector, ID selector, then we have the class selector, and then we have the descendant selector. And the right answer should be sidebar or ID selector. Yep, it is correct. Let's proceed to the next one. The following HTML code attempts to use inline styling to change the color of the paragraph text, but fails to do so. Why? And let's see. P element, color attribute. This is the wrong attribute. We should have style attribute here and then place the color property inside of the style attribute. Okay, let's see. A style tag must be used to add styles to HTML. The color red should be set to red instead with the capitalized R. The color attribute is invalid. It should be changed to style and then set equal to color red. And if you look, it will look like this: style color red, and this should be the right answer. Yep, it is right, of course. Separating HTML and CSS into their own files helps accomplish which of the following? More readable code, more specific CSS selectors. Separating HTML structure for CSS style makes the code in both languages easier to read and maintain better looking CSS styles. And I think this should be the right answer. Yep. What is the main difference between inline styles and the style tag? There is no difference between inline styles and the style tag. the style tag allow you to write CSS in a separate file, whereas inline styles embed CSS directly within HTML opening tags. Inline styles allow you to write CSS in a separate file, whereas the style tag embeds CSS directly within HTML opening tags. And inline styles directly modify individual HTML elements using a style attribute, whereas the style tag allows you to write CSS in a dedicated section of the HTML file. And you can write multiple CSS rules in the style element. And this should be the right answer, of course. Yeah, okay. What is the correct syntax to style multiple unrelated selectors? Let's see. You remember when you want to style multiple unrelated selectors, you separate them by a comma. Right here we have class selector, and then we have a tag selector, and this should be the right answer. Yep. What is the correct syntax to select an element inside another element? And this is also called descendant selector, when they are separated by a space. And right here you see you have a class selector, main list, and then you have a space and then a new element, which is list, that is nested inside of this main list. Okay, this should be the right answer. Yep. What is the purpose of the HTML link tag when it comes to styling a page? To link a specific style sheet file to an HTML file so that the styles get applied on the page. This should be the right answer, but let's see the rest of them. To make sure that all links are styled correctly on the page, to determine the specificity of CSS rules, and to make sure that your inline styles are applied correctly. And of course, this is the right answer, like I said. Okay. You wish to link a CSS file called main.css to an HTML file. Which of the following lines of code correctly links the HTML file and the style sheet? And let's see. We have the link element, of course, then we have the href set to main CSS because the name of the file is main CSS. And then the type attribute should be set to text / CSS, and then a rel attribute set to style sheet, and this is the right answer. Yeah. And the last one, which of the following best describes the concept of CSS selector specificity? Let's see. Specificity refers to whether you style multiple selectors for the same rule. Specificity refers to how a browser decides which styles to display when there are multiple styles defined that could apply to the same element. This should be the right answer, I think. Specificity refers to the order in which HTML elements appear in the browser immediately after rendering. Specificity refers to how descriptively you write your class or ID names. And like I said, this should be the right answer. Yeah. And yeah, we got the 100% score, so maximum result here. Okay, let's proceed to the next exercise. And we got the pop-up message saying that we completed the quiz, and now we will start doing the CSS visual rules exercises. So let's start.